We all set? Can you hear me? Colby, excuse me. Okay. Sorry, I didn't put it on there. My bad. So this morning, our inspiration is Joe Roaring.
Yes, and I spent a bunch of time writing this up too. So, as we clean out the refrigerators of our minds, let us clean our thoughts and deeds so that we can keep the world around us fresh and potable. May we also use our time together to remove the spoiled and rotten words from the pantries of our minds that we serve to all our fellow members and guests now. May the rest of today's menu be full of wisdom, joy, and thankfulness.
Thank you, Jill. And now I will lead everyone in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And it's a chisel announcement. I will announce everyone in the room this morning: Darcy Colby, Mark Campos, Len Thornton, Steve Smith, Joe Roaring, Nancy Ferry, Bridget Newton, Carol Ann Halstead, myself, Michael Licata, Larry McKenzie, Dave Licata, and Joe Budnick just walked in. On Zoom, if I have everyone correctly, I have Margot Bittner, David Jones, Marshall Song, Les Robinson, Mike Florio, Beth Banks, Tracy Farrell. I think that's everyone. And we also have a guest this morning. Jim Sacco is here. So we want to welcome him this morning. And I'm going to put it out there. Are there any announcements this morning? Anything in Zoom? Does anybody have any announcements? Anything going on? I know it's that time of year. And Maggie Craig is online as well.
Mike, is anyone ordering from the Mental Health Association the poinsettias wreaths? I think we got order forms a few weeks ago, and obviously I'm not there to.
Yes, we do have them, Beth. Yep. We do have some order forms for the wreaths. If anybody needs them, we'll be doing that for a couple weeks.
Those are due tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is at the by November 21st, which is tomorrow. No, I think it's just the micro. Working on it. How are we? That sounds okay, right? Yeah. We're all right. Is that everything this morning? Fill some more time, see if anybody else walks in late. When I was looking for a topic for a meeting this week, I didn't want to just fall into the old adage of doing Thanksgiving or holidays or shopping or anything like that. So I used the trusty computer and the Google machine to research random days, and I found out that because November's 15th is National Clean Out Your Fridge Day, I thought that's a really simple theme that could start a rabbit hole, because everyone needs to clean out their refrigerator. Everyone should do it at least on a monthly basis. But it brought me down a rabbit hole because you don't realize how important a refrigerator actually is through the evolution of humanity, really. But I'll get into that a little bit later. With that, I saw him online. Marty Johnson is our word master this morning. Marty, what's your word?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. The word of the day that I chose is purge. Purge. And purge means to rid of something undesirable. I'll be listening for everyone that speaks today that uses the word and recording it and reporting when called upon. Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Marty. And next, I will bring our master this morning, Joe Budnick.
This is Master. I will be muttering ums, ahs, pregnant pauses, and let's please purge ourselves of all those words and speak correctly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. And I will go next out to Zoom land. She was gracious enough to step in as the grammarian this morning. Maggie Craig, what's your role this morning to help us purge our poor uses of the English language?
Good morning, Toastmasters. I'm here. I'm hoping to purge this lovely cold that I've managed to find. I am here as grammarian. I'll be listening for effective language, creative phrasing, and correct grammar. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maggie. And I also saw her out in Zoom land. Tracy Farrell is our jester this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, for Jess, I had to go all the way back to my high school days when we were making prank calls. So the first one is, hello, is your refrigerator running? The recipient says, yes, why? Well, because it would probably make a better president. Now we're really going to go back to the old school, hashtag fridge 2028. So I have a lot more really bad refrigerator jokes that I had to purge today because they'd probably get a chilly reception. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tracy. And I also go out to Zoom land. Our quote master this morning is Margot Bittner.
Good morning, and I am taking purge in a slightly different direction. I have a quote this morning on refrigerators from Robert Fulghum. Everything you learned in kindergarten? On a very local scale, a refrigerator is the center of the universe. On the inside, food is essential to life. And on the outside of the door, it is a summary of the life events of everyone in the household. Mr. Toastmaster.
And our quiz master this morning is David Licata.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. There was a gentleman named Durant. He was a high-ranking executive with General Motors, and he had a friend come to him and said, Mr. Durant, can you help me? I got this buddy of mine. He's crazy. He's got this invention. He says it'll keep food cold. We just go over there and talk him out of it. He's wasting all his time. And that's how Frigidaire became part of General Motors. My job is to find out if we learned anything today. So I will be at the end, and I will ask questions pertaining to today's subject matter. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
We'll go out to our Zoom land once again this morning and go to our timer this morning is David Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will be doing the traditional backgrounds, the green, the yellow, and the red. I believe we have 2 icebreakers this morning, 4 to 6 minutes, and then I believe we're going back to the traditional table topics, 1 to 2 minutes. And of course, our evaluators are 2 to 3 minutes, and I will report upon the time when called. So thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. And I just want to make a note for our 2 icebreakers this morning. One is a true icebreaker, and Les's is his second icebreaker for his second path. just to clear things up quickly. And we will go out to Zoom land again. I will not forget the general evaluator this morning. This morning, our general evaluator is Beth Banks. Beth, can you explain your role this morning?
I'm sorry I'm not able to be there this morning again. I appreciate being able to be the general evaluator. Mike, I really like the theme. So let's hear more about cleaning out your refrigerator, as long as I don't have to stop today and do it myself. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Beth. Doing my research, I always find it fascinating just to see how far back the idea and the concepts of refrigeration goes. And obviously, the the modern refrigerator developed after the foundation of electricity, but the systems actually goes back all the way into the mid 18th century, which I find completely fascinating because even before that, people in the wintertime especially found out early that if they put milk and products outside during the wintertime, it would keep cooler longer. So, but actually in 1834, the first working vapor compression refrigeration was built. So, so much of what is necessary and where everything developed, the refrigerator came all the way back in the 1830s, and I just found it incredibly fascinating. So it's a little bit of the research I found, and now I will turn it over to Darcy Colby, who will be doing our table topics master this morning. Darcy.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So, do you like my fall colors? Okay. This is my calf scour shirt. Any of you have ever worked with dairy cows or dairy calves? You know what calf scours are. Maybe Margot does. She probably does because her husband used to be in the dairy industry. So we'll leave it at that. I have to wear it once a year in the fall, but it always reminds me, brings back fond memories of my working on very large farms and trying to purge the calf scours from the calves. Okay. I am not going to depart from the importance of Thanksgiving. And we should always fill our lives with thanks and giving. Because Thanksgiving is such an important holiday. And all of you that have your Christmas decorations up, shame on you. At my house, we wait till the day after Thanksgiving and then we go get our tree and put it up and enjoy it for a few months. So it's such an important holiday because those sentiments of gratitude we should have every day and year round. You should always be counting your blessings for everything you have in your life and give to others when you can. Thank you, God, for everything. Thanksgiving is so important to our history. And my husband, just a week ago at church, gave a sermon on the history of Thanksgiving, and he did a good job. I was very proud of him. He was very comfortable and calm up there, and I was so proud of him. Oh, and speaking of refrigerators, there is a creek that runs through my backyard. It's called Spring Creek. And back in the 1800s, people used to go back there and they would cut the big blocks of ice and they'd pull it with the horses and the log sleds, and they'd put these big blocks of ice and they'd use it in there as for refrigeration. So that's kind of a cool little piece of history right in my backyard. Every time I look out there, I think of that. Okay, on to table topics. These are all Thanksgiving, and they're very easy. And I should have tried to figure out who doesn't have a job, which I didn't do. Who doesn't have a job? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Nobody's volunteering. How about our guest today? I understand he's a seasoned Toastmaster, so this should be pretty simple for you. And I made the questions very simple too. So you can start walking up as I ask the question, but what are you thankful for this year and why? Yet don't forget to use the word of the day, purge. I'm sorry to pick on you so early.
That's okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, members of Toastmasters and our word master or table topics master today. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was a member of Toastmasters up until about 25 years ago when my fourth child was born. And I'm glad that I was able to, it's been 25 years to come back and be a part of this group again because I have to purge all of these non-words that I use from my vocabulary. I have been dedicated or said to be the Wizard of Oz a number of times, and my third daughter is getting married this June. So I've given speeches at both my first two daughters' weddings, and I've done fairly well, I thought. But I still need to brush up on some things. So I thought it would be good to be able to purge those non-words. Now, I'm very thankful for the life that I have. I'm very thankful that over these last 25 years, I have. Is there a green light? Okay. Oh, I see that now. Okay. But I have three grandchildren and one on the way, and I'm very thankful for that, and that I get this opportunity to clean up the my vocabulary. So thank you very much, and we'll move on from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right. Our second speaker, I'm going to call up Larry because I understand he doesn't have a job. Larry, why is it important to count your blessings every day? Or maybe you don't think it's important. Or you can answer question number one. What are you thankful for? Making it easy today.
Purging. Speaking of purging, I spent my whole summer out in Akron this year, which I did for the last few years at our camp. When I came home, I looked around the house and I'm thinking, where did all this stuff come from? Well, I gave up my warehouse that I had for 40 plus years. So I had all of these things that I threw some out. Should I keep this? Should I not keep that? And I ended up keeping more than I thought I was going to keep, even though I threw a lot of things out. So I have a lot of items that I have to purge. As I'm going through a lot of those things, I'm looking at pictures from 25 years ago, 20 some when I was out at Susquehanna University and different other places that I traveled to. So I'm very thankful for the fact that I had the opportunity to travel as much as I did with my work and to touch so many different lives of people throughout the Western New York area, along with other areas of the country. And as we come towards Thanksgiving, I'm very thankful for the fact that my family and friends and those that I call family, which are friends, because of the fact that over the course of years, as you get into that fourth quarter of your life, you see a lot of the people that you grew up with that are moving on to a different area of being. That's a polite way of saying they've left us, I believe. So I appreciate every day for the present, and I try to do as much as I can within that time frame to make sure that I don't have any regrets when I lay my head on my pillow at night. So being thankful at Thanksgiving is just a reminder of those things throughout your life that you cherish. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Just so you know how important Thanksgiving is at my house this year, we are going to have 23 people around one table. My husband does all the cooking. He's the cook. He loves to cook, and I do everything else. All right. So our last contestant, Mike Licata. I'm told that, I know you had a job, but I'm going to call on you anyway, if that's okay. Tell us about your traditions at Thanksgiving, or maybe you're going to start a new tradition, or you can tell us what you're thankful for or why it's important to count your blessings. Very simple.
I don't really have many traditions when it comes to Thanksgiving. I do enjoy the food and I do watching football. I do enjoy getting to spend time with my cousins who I don't see often. I think even growing up and becoming older and becoming an adult, it's still important to remember the times that we all got to hang out together because there were a group of us that are basically able to spend a lot of time together growing up. I have an older brother, but he is very busy now and he has a family of his own. So I've also seen a lot of changes in the last 3 or 4 years that I find fascinating, and I hope that him and his wife and his infant son can create these new traditions so that he is able to make new memories and yet not purge his old memories or anything like that. I feel he is developing this new life and I'm very happy for him. I feel that a lot of my basic traditions is just food and football, but I do look forward to just a simple day off and then probably working all weekend because working in retail that all weekend is also always more important than anything else. Madam Tabletop.
Thank you, Mike. You might as well stay up here because I'm going to hand the meeting back over to you for the speaking portion.
Thank you, Darcy. And I will go out to Zoom to Marty for a word report.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, Mike. All three of our participants qualified, Jim, Larry, and Mike. All three qualified and used the word purge at least once. And if I may add, Jim, although I'm trying to purge this little bug that caught me, I just want to make sure that one of our club officers gives Jim the opportunity to leave the meeting with a membership application because I would love him to be able to brush up his skills for his daughter's wedding that he said coming up next year. And what better way to practice your public speaking skills and have fun with a great group like AM Lockport. So Jim, in my absence, I'm sure one of my fellow officers will take care of you and make sure you get your information before you leave today. Leave your email in the guest register. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Marty. And I will let you know that he does have a packet already. And I will also go back out to Zoom to David Jones. How did we do on time this morning?
Well, thankfully, none of our contestants were purged from the voting. They all qualified, Jim at 126, Larry at 205, and Mike, yourself, at 126. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Darcy's working away. It's important to clean out your fridge for the same reasons why fridges became important, and it's actually bacteria. Bacteria developed obviously develops in many different ways, but refrigerators gave us healthier lives. It provided an opportunity to preserve food for longer periods. Now, because of this preservation, I find it fascinating that refrigerators allowed the suburbs to develop because you didn't need to be close to the corner store. You didn't have to go to the grocers every day because you could keep that food longer and preserve more food with a refrigerator. With that, I want to get to the speaking portion of the meeting this morning, and I will first introduce Nancy Ferry, who is going to introduce Bridget Newton this morning.
This morning it's my great pleasure to introduce one of our newest members, maybe our newest, not sure, Bridget Newton. And the title of her speech is What's in a Collage? We all have collages in our lives, whether they're on paper or in our minds. And I'm just so excited to hear what she has to say and maybe learn a little bit more about her. And the purpose of this project is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structures of public speaking. And now I'd like to introduce Bridget.
Thank you. Ooh. I guess so. Okay. We good? Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests today. So, to my right, you will see a collage. What do you see? A cat. Thank you. Yes, this is a resemblance of a cat, my cat, Trudy. But if you take a closer look, kind of with what Nancy had said, you'll see that there's so much more. There's words of inspiration, there's pictures that are reminders of special moments and memories in my life and those that I love. There's really just so much more than just a cat. But when you look at me, what do you see? I know it's a loaded question. I'm not going to make you answer that one, but a woman, some dark hair, a little bit of gray, and some glasses. With this collage of Trudy, there is so much more. And with their collage of me, there is so much more. What first comes to mind is that I am a mother. I have 2 adult children in their late 20s, a son and a daughter. They both reside in Michigan. And I cannot believe it, but within the last 2.5 months, they have both gotten engaged to be married. I have some really wonderful events to look forward to and some wonderful people to welcome into my family. Regarding family, I am a daughter and I'm also a sister. I am the eldest sibling of one sister. I moved back to Western New York from Michigan about 5 years ago. I wanted to be closer to my father and my mother, my sister, brother-in-law, and my niece. I had been gone for many, many years, and I wanted to have time with them. I'm very glad I made that decision because my father passed away about 1.5 years ago. I didn't realize the time I would have would be short. So that decision to move back was really a very good one for me to make. For work, I am a mental health therapist, and that would be an LMSW, Licensed Master of Social Work. I do hesitate to say this because people always ask, well, are you analyzing me? Are you diagnosing me? I will not admit to this or deny it. My hope is that Toastmasters will help me with my job because I need to be able to listen and observe, ask questions, and summarize. Sometimes I will have to explain things and speak very clearly and very precisely. Sometimes I just encourage people, and sometimes I will empower them. Sometimes I just sit with them in their troubles. Another part of the collage of Bridget would be some of my hobbies, things that I enjoy, things that bring me joy, keep me out of trouble and keep me busy, things that will help me when I'm having some struggles in my life. One of the hobbies that I enjoy is artwork, and I joined the Niagara Arts Guild. And this picture of Trudy is what I had exhibited in the spring 2025 show. The other things that I enjoy doing is woodworking. My dad actually got me into that, and I joined the Lockport Woodworkers. I enjoy using a lathe and a scroll saw for a couple of things. And for those of you who don't know what those are, perhaps I will include them in a speech down the road. the Lockport Woodworkers also was wonderful because I was able to help build if you had gone to the 4-H Niagara County Fair this summer, there was a mini golf course there, and I was able to help build that. And I've also been able to help children build birdhouses and toolboxes. When I thought about what I would want to see if someone were standing in front of me giving a icebreaker speech, I thought about how I would want to look at not just the outline of what that person is, but what the collage is, what the heart and the soul is, what they enjoy doing, what their sorrows are. So through this, I have tried to share with you what's in my heart, which is the people I love, what's in my soul, which is connecting to people and helping them, what brings me joy, which are friends and experiences and sharing, and then what is my grief, which was for the passing of my father, which is still a pretty tough grief. So I also hope that sharing this collage of Bridget will help me learn more about you so that we can share and we can be supportive and we can all enjoy what the uniqueness of each of us is. Thank you very much. No, you have to stand up. You don't have to stand up. Oh, that was up there.
Thank you, Len. Thank you. Congratulations, Bridget. And I do want to encourage everyone in the room. Part of the ballot does have areas where you can write notes. Is when Darcy collects the ballots and stuff, we want to pass along any encouragement to Bridget, not just the evaluation. And our second speaker this morning is out in Zoom land. His evaluator will be Kate Orr, evaluating Les Robinson this morning. Kate.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And thank you, Les, for stepping up. Les was scheduled as the alternate today, so he's going to speak today. And we're going to hear him. And he jumped in. He's also scheduled for the next meeting. I've been doing this for those of you who haven't noticed. One of the speakers that's coming up is the alternate, usually the previous week. Then it is your choice whether you get to speak twice or if you bow out and let the alternate then take your spot. So we've been doing that for a bit off and on. I am excited to hear Les, who is also giving an icebreaker. He is a distinguished Toastmaster. He's reached DTM, so he's doing another icebreaker, and we're going to get to know the humorous side. He's on the engaging humor path. I'm very excited for this for Les. Mr. Timer, I see that you have sorted out that the time is the same 4 to 6, like an icebreaker is, and we'll get to know a different side of Les. I cannot wait to hear. And you want me to share his title? Perfect. We have from Les Robinson, 65 items. Les Robinson, 65 items.
Hey, Kate. Today, I'm giving a big presentation to over 400 people, and I'm going to be on Zoom. Now, I'm doing this at an office so it looks professional. And the big reason why I am doing a Zoom, see this little doggy right here? She could be asleep, and I could be doing a Zoom, and she will come out of the woodwork. And the last thing I want to do is be speaking professionally and have our friend Ava, right, Ava? Who's a big photo hound, step up. So we're going to purge my little dog from being on Zoom. That's number one. Number two, and this is really interesting. I was thinking about this as reviewing my speech while I was looking. I had forgot to pack the PowerPoint because I've been practicing here and working here and coordinating with the certified senior advisors. I forgot to bring the PowerPoint that I will have today. So this, I'm glad Michael asked me to do the speech because I would have forgot that. Next thing was I went and said, what are basically a lot of things that you can mess up on a speech? And I came up with 65 of them. And the other one was to make sure that you have the right lighting. That's very important. And to make sure the mic and the stand. So at my office that I got prepared at, if you don't look correctly, you'll be giving your presentation like that for an hour. And I think that is a very big no-no. So this is actually, everything in life happens for a reason. So I'm very glad to do this, but I'm going to go over some many things to avoid is Oz, the Oz, or say, or okay, or I say now too much, speaking too fast, speaking too slow, monotone, or reading off the presentation. I don't need to do. Over explaining simpler points. My other time is I have 50 minutes to talk, and I've been ending up around 46 to 52. So I have to slow up my pace or expand stories through it. So that's one thing about Toastmasters. Otherwise, if I speak too quickly, I'll be done about 30 minutes, and then I will take 30 minutes of questions from 400 people, and I don't want to do that. I have to have good body position. Also, pacing is very important. Also, you don't want to be sitting like this on your Zoom, like, hey, by the way, you got to be relaxed, natural, and you can't move your gesture, so you're so far out of the Zoom. And I do have a good camera. Can't make eye contact with people because you have to pretend to do that. Can't look nervous, distracted. Also, your appearances. I won't be wearing a suit and tie. Hair will look a lot more presentable. Clothing are nice. And I'll make sure that we are drinking water and we're not drinking coffee, because the last thing you want to do is spill coffee in the middle of your Zoom presentation or dribble down the side of your mouth. These are things that you want to watch out for. Also, is you want to make sure you thank the audience at the beginning, thank the people, and want to thank everybody for being part of the experience of the webinar. Don't get defensive. Don't say okay, or how, all these important things. Do not tell inappropriate jokes or bad joke tellers. When I do presentations, I have 2 or 3 standard jokes that everyone laughs at. As you know, I have been the person who's been the jester here at the organization. And I think in the 20 years of Toastmasters, I think I got 0 laughs. So I'm not a good joke teller. These are the things that I make sure that I want to do. And then I have a couple other humorous things, is avoid telling audience to memorize. Can everyone hear me? That's very bad. Making sure that your microphone is set up, your camera is set up, and remember your PowerPoint. All of these fun things that you'll make sure that you'll need to know. And it's how ironic is that Michael Cotta asked me to do it, and I was going to pull out the original speech, and something said, "No, I haven't really, that's not the speech I want to do." So I said, what are things that you can go wrong in your speech? And actually, would have been really interesting to sitting in my office today at 1:00 and not having a presentation to 400 people. So everything happens for a reason. So Mike Licata, I want to say thank you very much for asking me to be a speaker. And I'd like to say, Kate, thank you for making me the assistant speaker on the schedule, because I would have made a major rookie mistake at about 1:30 today and had no way of getting the PowerPoint. So I want to say thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Les, and good luck this afternoon with your presentation. It's a yeoman's task to even speak in front of 400 people, even online. It's probably something a lot of us couldn't do. So you definitely, as a DTM, are a tremendous example with our club. And next, I will turn it over to
Thank you, Mike.
our Evaluator 3, Marshall Song, is evaluating Steve Smith.
Toastmaster of the morning, fellow members and distinguished guests. I'm very pleased to be the evaluator of Stephen Smith's speech. His speech is about introduction to computer. The real history can't be purged. I remember the first computer was ENIAC in 1949 in Pennsylvania University, maybe. Let's listen Stephen's story. His title is My Introduction of Computers. My Introduction of Computers, Stephen Smith.
Before you start timing, before you start timing, I need to apologize to Marshall because it was serendipity, the fact that in light of what I'm going to talk about, I could not get on our page to enter the information about it. So with that in mind, many of you know I have a slight problem with technology, computers in particular. I've talked about that different times. I have never launched into why. Well, that's what I intend to do this morning. I started out on the wrong foot and stayed there. My introduction came at work. Now, I worked at Pfeiffer Foods for a little over 30 years. I spent close to 10 years in the QC lab, or as they like to call it in the plant, your QA. QA, quality assurance. Everybody's job is quality control. Your job is to check on them. Whatever, call it what you will. Now, I worked what was called the window. And the window was just that. It was a window in the wall separating us from the noisy production area. We had as many as 8 lines running at the same time. And there could be 2 batch makers for each line. They would make a batch. Batches are approximately 200 gallons, depending on the product. Each time they finished a batch, they had to bring a 12-ounce sample to the window to be tested. That was my bid. Bring a sample in, got to weigh out a gram. Started around what we call around the horn. It was a whole, like an L-shaped thing of tests that we had to run, and each batch had different tests. Now, the problem comes in because I got one test, I got that going. I turn around, here's 2 more samples at the window already. Now, you got to keep moving because the goal was to try to find a problem before that product got pumped to the line, and they wouldn't wait for anything. In fact, the plant didn't like us being there. They love saying we have QC, but if we said there's a problem, they didn't want to hear it. They don't let the stop lines, as many of you would know, work in anything like this. So there was a huge pressure to keep moving. Now, I like that. I fed off it. You have to be efficient, quick, and just keep your head in what you're doing. Because I had to not only run the test, I had to write this all down. There was a sheets in there. This is this batch, this is this line. I had sheets for every line there. Keep entering the information as I went, and just keep a constant cycle of keeping everything in motion. And I did that, and I liked it. Back in high school, a counselor, one of the few things they said that made any sense, if you want job security, take a job that nobody wants and make it yours. And that's exactly what I did, because nobody liked working the window. And I'm not exaggerating. I had to train people from time to time. And more than once, people would leave the room literally in tears. They couldn't take the stress of what we had to do there to keep up with the lines. Well, I could do that. And I had all I could do. I could keep everything going and keep it fine. Well, this was great until the plant, in their infinite wisdom, decided they were going to go to computers. Okay. They wanted us to not only write this all on paper, enter it into a computer, all this data from the tests. Now, there's 2 problems with this. One, I had all I could do just to keep everything moving and keep it written down. Where am I supposed to find time to put it on the computer? And secondly, at this point in my life, I'd never used a computer at all. I had nothing about it. Oh, this will work. Well, they decided to send somebody in from Ohio to train us. Train us, yeah. Now, most of the other people in the lab were kind of familiar with computers, so they didn't have a problem. I did. I didn't even know how to turn the thing on. I knew nothing about it. And the problem was their trainer couldn't relate to someone like me who had zero knowledge of it. Jay kept talking in all this jargon, which means something, not to me. They'll log in. What are you talking about? Well, log in. I don't know what you're saying. Just log in. I don't know what that means. And this is how it went. And they could not explain themselves. Well, all right, well, what happens? Now I'm thinking ahead. I know I'm going to mess up. What do I do when something's wrong? And I know I've messed up. How do I fix it? Well, you can't. What do you mean I can't? No, it's got to go through all back to the front office. They'll come in and yell at you, which they did. And if you know my disposition, that didn't really impress me. He'll go ahead and yell. And the other problem was they also had a computer at the end of the line checking stuff that was finished going off the line. And I would get behind in there because I just didn't have time to enter all this. And then we get calls, how come all this data isn't there? We got 10 batches out, we only got 2 on your sheet. Because I haven't done it yet. And so it went. And trying to learn something under those conditions is next to impossible because I had all I could do to keep my own job going, try to figure out something that's totally new to me. And it was a study in frustration. I finally figured out enough to get by. And as I said, because it was such a high stress job, I knew they weren't going to get rid of me because not too many people even wanted to look at that job. And things, I got through it. But I'd like to say things got better after that. They didn't. I've always had trouble with this technology. But that was my introduction to computers, this crash course, literally crash course from the plant. Here, do this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Then they said there was something called a password. What's a password? Well, you got to change your password every couple of months. Well, that's cool. What's a password? So I had to have someone else come over and show me how to do this. They had to change my password. If I didn't, they wouldn't let me get on a computer anymore because they wouldn't accept it. And then I was totally screwed. You couldn't let it lapse because then it was a major, apparently, battle to get back on again. So they kept me going with that. And I fought with many things for years. I can barely get by now. I can send an email. I can answer an email. Don't ask me to put an attachment on. I have no idea how to do that. But I try the best I can to keep going, even though I have no end of trouble with it. And thank God I've got Jill to straighten me out when I get my backside in trouble, as I frequently do. And Jill, what have I done wrong now? It's not responding to me. And so it goes. So don't talk to me about computers, Mr. Toastmaster. Good.
Thank you, Steve. And I will go out to Zoom to our timer, David Jones. David, how did we do on time this morning?
Everybody qualified. Bridget came in at 5:51, Les at 5 minutes exactly, and Steve was 6:32. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Cleaning out your refrigerator and just refrigerators in general, I find is a fascinating study because one of the things I like to do when it comes to Toastmasters speaking is try to figure out where the future of refrigerators are going. And I find it fascinating because there are smart refrigerators, they do exist. And in my humble idiot brain, are completely unnecessary. Just completely unnecessary because I don't think you need the technology is there, but to put another app on your phone to tell you what's in your refrigerator. Oh yeah, no, there is. Like, yeah, like you can create a shopping list at home that can just put everything on your phone. I just seems wholly unnecessary. So I think it's important to appreciate the refrigerator, appreciate how it changed society. And I also want to remind everyone to clean out your fridge at least once a month because it's an important task to throw away that bad food and help you purge maybe that bad food or that extra piece of meat that has been in there just a little bit too long. And with that, I will call up our first evaluator this morning, Nancy Ferry.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And before you start my time, I just wanted to say that my mom was a microbiologist. And if you opened our refrigerator, you would think that she brought home all of her work. So consequently, I am one of those people that eats food up as we need it. I don't make too much. If I do, I freeze it. So I very real sometimes a piece of celery or something like that'll get all, but I really cannot stand ick in my refrigerator. So I purge it when I have to. Now, on to Bridget. Oh, what an exciting morning. I am so grateful that you shared with us in such a neat way. It was, you had a visual of a collage and then talked about the collage of yourself. Fabulous idea. So, what's in a collage? You introduced yourself and your cat, I can't remember the cat's name. I'm trying. Trudy. Thank you. Thank you. You never guessed that this was your first speech. You were comfortable. You looked comfortable. I don't know if you were shaking inside, but you looked very composed, comfortable. You used your hand gestures. You pointed to things. You had a great outline using your family, some of your internal feelings, your hobbies, your work. You brought it all together and reminded us that we each have a collage inside of us. It wasn't just an outline, though. It was deep from the heart and the soul, and you brought joy, you brought grief. You summed up so well. Maybe you could work on practicing stepping away from the lectern, some options for you, because it makes you feel glued. A few, maybe, yeah, like I said, a few more gestures if you moved away from the lectern. It was just fabulous. I commend you. I look forward to hearing more speeches. And I also want to say you used a lot of eye contact. Thank you so much for being part of our club and sharing a little bit of yourself this morning, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nancy. I'll leave the microphone down here next because our next evaluator is Kate Orr, who is evaluating Les Robinson this morning.
Thank you. You feel like this is low, Mike? I have to be on my tiptoes for this to work. But thanks. We learn this technology. I love that. Thank you, Les, for joining us with the wonder of technology and Zoom. Oh, wait, Les, you're positioned perfectly. For a while, I was going to say, can you split the screen on us already, or is that a wonky thing to do? You are amazing. You're an amazing speaker. You took a hiatus and rejoined us again, which is fantastic. I really enjoyed the vibe of your speech today. You thanked Mike. It was a good start. You gave us a good start with Ava. Okay, perfect. You're in the screen in a perfect way. Okay, awesome. I love how you're using that and using the light in the background. It's not too distracting. Okay, perfect. I'll get to that in a moment. So the tools in your toolbox, you have so many. Your pacing was strong. Your poise was strong. You entered your info in the path, and I love that you're challenging yourself with this humorous path. You're just starting it, correct? Or you've done humorous things in the past, but you admitted during your speech that some of your jokes in the past have fallen flat, or things you expected to get a reaction from, maybe you didn't get what you expected. So I love that you have reached the pinnacle of Toastmasters as DTM, and you are saying, let's keep going because we always can improve. And I love that. You gave us, even in your title, 65 items, a little bit of a hook to confuse and intrigue. So that was great. And then you literally listed 65 things for us to purge, for you to purge, for us to do. So you did all those things so well. A great hook with Ava at the beginning. For a moment, I thought you like chucked her off to the side. It was like she got the hook and she was gone. I was like, so maybe gently put Ava down if you're using her as a hook at the beginning. And then I really think that the only improvement I could give you is to, let's do it together. Maybe you can even do it right now. To see how now that you have a lot of white space above your head, at times when you lean forward, when you're there, it's perfect. But when you're back, there's a lot of white space and that window is bright. And if your meeting is today and you don't have another background, that window, that could be tricky. So maybe either position the device or stay right in that, like you're centered now, because that looks awesome and it blocks the light enough. Because windows behind us can be challenging. I think you're already challenging yourself by doing, like we always end with a challenge. I love that you're choosing the humorous path, and I can't wait to hear how that balances many of your serious topics. You bring us a lot of serious topics, a lot of serious professional development. It keeps us mindful of our futures and our finances and our long-term care for our family and ourselves. And I love that. And it's not a funny topic, but it's human. And I love that you're going to be able to mash that all together into some really cool future speeches. Thank you, Les, for this opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you again
Thank you.
soon. Good luck today, this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. And next, I will turn it over to Marshall in Zoom land, who will be evaluating Steve Smith this morning. Marshall.
Thank you, thank you. Since Stephen didn't use pathways, so I only tell some my feelings. Stephen, I really enjoyed your speech. The first time I used the computer in 2002, I thought that's early in China. But when you used that, I wasn't born yet. First, your pronunciation is quite clear, and your structure, from beginning, middle to the strong ending, you taught us a lot of details of your stories, and we totally understand that. You used a lot of vocal variety, especially in the beginning, and you showed us a lot of emotions. Sometimes angry, sometimes have question, and you used so many sign languages. That's marvelous. And you show us the window, put here, put there, point. That's attracted our attention. You took the paper, and those stories could call a lot of memories of us, and everything new when we use that, we have a lot of problems, and everybody have that feelings, so we can understand your feeling. Sometimes you use pause, you stop, so give us time to think about it. But I found one time maybe you forgot your scripture and you read your paper, and I think you need more rehearsals. And you were a little serious. I hope you can give more some smile when that's funny, and give some interaction with audience. After the middle, in the end of your speech, the pace was a little fast. You can slow down. Overall, I believe Stephen gave, congratulations for your speech. I'm looking forward to your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. And again, I will go with the wonderful technology out to Zoom and David Jones. How did our evaluators do on time, David?
Everybody qualified. Nancy came in at 156, Kate at 302, and Marshall at 310. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. And now I will turn the meeting over to my general evaluator, Beth Banks, to evaluate the evaluators and the Toastmaster and the overall tone. And Beth, just because I have an agenda in front of me, I'll be more than happy to call on reports too after your evaluation. So out to Beth.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, I will definitely have you call on reports. I did print the agenda, but I would rather you do that. I really loved. I'm going to talk about the theme, your theme, all that first. I love the theme. I love the word of the day. What a good word for cleaning out your refrigerator. One of those jobs we all hate to do. I like that you really did a lot of research and you wove it throughout the meeting. You didn't try to do it in only one spot. It kind of came throughout the meeting. Wow, double duty. You had to do the table topics also. That's good. I like that you gave encouragement to the speakers. You added humor. That was very good. We have to do that. Make each other laugh. That's a good thing. All three of our evaluators used the sandwich approach. Nancy, you are so encouraging. That is your personality, but as an evaluator, it does really mean a lot to the speakers that you are evaluating. You gave very specific suggestions, not just pie in the sky. It was very good. Kate, I like that you're adding the tools, the hook. I didn't really see that Les looked like he kind of threw the dog. It looked like he was okay, but that was a very good suggestion and a good suggestion to change Les's positioning. Yes, if he moves forward, it puts him more in the middle of the screen, but if he moves back, there is a lot of space there. A number of people do that, but good sandwich approach. Marshall, your encouragement, the details was very good, that you encouraged and gave him kudos for the vocal variety, for his emotions. Stephen is very good at grabbing our attention, and you pointed that out, invoking the memories, the good pauses. I'm glad that you saw that, yes, he maybe could have rehearsed a little more because that would have made the paper shuffling a little bit. That wouldn't have happened, possibly. And that you encouraged him to slow down. A lot of us, including myself, could do that. We have to remember, slow down and speak carefully. So all in all, I think the meeting went very well. Mike, you were very organized. You got things going very well. I believe there were a few technical problems, particularly with the sound, but you handled it well. So all in all, good meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And we will start with the reports this morning. I will call up Joe, our owl master this morning, and also our club president, Joe Budnak.
Well, there were no pregnant pauses, but I did count 5 ums and 4 ahs. And Steve, I notice you say ugh a lot. I don't count that. I should, but I don't out of the goodness of my heart. But I will say, as far as computers go, I feel your pain. We are kindred spirits. I don't do technology either. So you have my complete and undivided sympathy. But congratulations to all our speakers this morning. You all did great. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And next, we will go to our quiz master this morning, David Licata, who will give us test our listening skills this morning. Dave Licata.
Just a bit of borrowed expertise, excuse me, from my days in Little Theater. Bridget, next time you have to take that picture and a light coating of hairspray because the light was bouncing off that on the Zoom. It's a small thing, but a great thing to remember. always happy to share my expertise. Jim was a member of Toastmasters how many years ago? Very good. It was 25 for you Zoomers. There were different sections. There's an urban part of the world, suburban, and ex-urbia. What part of that did refrigerators help populate? Thank you. It was suburbia. Bridget has how many siblings? Good, one. She has one. And Bernadette's cat's name? Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Someday you can all say, I was at the meeting when Dave's wheels fell off. Oh, God bless me. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. The cat's name is Trudy. Wow. Les's dog's name is? It's Ava. That's right.
Ava.
Les is supposed to speak for what length of time?
50 minutes.
All right. 50 minutes. Steve worked in the... No, I want to narrow it down. Window. He worked in the window. And Steve's trainees sometime left the job in tears. Well, that's today's quiz. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Quizmaster. And next, I will turn it over to Maggie, our grammarian this morning. Maggie, how do we do on our English language?
Good morning. I will start this with an Of course I will. I heard some great uses of the English language. I particularly liked when Margot said that your refrigerator is a summary of life's events on the outside, having raised a couple of kids and now having a granddaughter. Yes, yes, and it should be. Yes, that's such a great way to put it. We had the usual gotta's, tryta, talkin'. I will point out two, because they both are A's and being part Canadian, I will bring out the A. Mike Licata, appreciate. And Marshall, about. I want to just bring out two other things. Your encouragement, the details, was good. So the should have referred to your encouragement. Your encouragement was good, but as soon as you add the details, it became a compound subject. So it's your encouragement, the details were good. But if you just wanted to use it as a clarifying, your encouragement, especially the details, was good. And at my office, that I got prepared at is a double use of a preposition. At my office, where I got prepared would be smoother. That is all that I have to say today as the grammarian. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maggie. And go out to Marty, our wordmaster. How did Perch do this morning?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Mike, I heard you use the word twice. Joe Budnack once, Maggie once, Tracy used the word, Margot, David Jones, Beth, Darcy, Jim Sacco, our guest, used it a few times, Larry a few times, and Mike Licata used it again, as I said, during table topics. Our three evaluator used the word, and our three speaker used the word. Overall, I believe everyone that spoke used the word purge or a form of the word. Thank you all for participating. Back to you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. And if you would like to, Jim, we usually invite our guests up at the end of the meeting to kind of give your critique of the meeting. So you're more than welcome to come up if you don't want to. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, members of Toastmasters. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak here and to meet all of you. I will say that it was a great presentations by all. I have to correct myself. I told everybody that it was 25 years ago. Well, we're coming up on January 2026. It was really January of 2000 that I stopped Toastmasters, so it was 26 years ago. I get my years mixed up, but that happens during the around the end of the year. It's great to see people like Dave Licata and Margot Sue Bittner. It's good to see you again. I've seen you at some of the more advanced presentations. After you at the club level, you get to the district level and do presentations. And I still have that trophy at home for the second place I got in one contest when there were only two of us. So it kind of reminds me of, like, I do run. As you can see, I'm going to be running in the turkey trot for the 14th year in a row. But I do run in some of the races I run. I will get first place when there's one of me, or second place when there are two or three of me. So I'm familiar with that. So anyway, one of the concerns I have that I've seen, I can remember from Toastmasters before, we always tried to get away from using notes. And I can see that people are always looking down at their notes, and maybe that's something that's changed. I mean, we always said, well, just do an outline. At least we're not doing word for word when we're writing the notes or looking at our notes. So, but that's something that, you know, we can adjust. And of course, I'm looking at my notes right now. But anyways, my concerns have always been, like I said, I say too many ahs or ums, and also I get too detailed. I'm an engineer by trade. I'm a retired engineer, retired for 3 years. But that's something that I hope to to address, just not being too detailed. I'm thinking of joining in next month in December, because next week Thursday, I said it's Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to be running in Buffalo at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, okay, good. Okay, but I will join in. All right. Well, that's good. And I'm here at the YMCA quite a bit. I've been a member since I moved here in 1997. And but it's good to see you and see a lot of familiar faces, like our Mark over here. I know him from Sunset Bay. We have a place down there, and I'm glad I get to see him now during the winter months now. So, but thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. All right. Thank you.
And this is our last call for announcements this morning. Does anybody else have the announcements? We have the wreath forms that we can, if anybody needs one, we can fill them out quickly because tomorrow's the deadline. Anything? Nothing? Okay, yeah, no, you can close if you need to. I'm just.
You do the waivers and everything. That's good. I was late as I often am if I don't have Mary to crack the whip and pick her up and get here on time. So I apologize that I wasn't here to open the meeting. I can help close the meeting. For our distinguished guest, welcome back to Toastmasters. Welcome back to the fold. I'm our Vice President of Education. I do have some announcements. So the first would be what Mike had mentioned and Beth at the start of the meeting, that tomorrow is the deadline. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow's the deadline for the poinsettia and wreath sale, which is from the Mental Health Association. And a reminder that that was a passion project of Jackie Kenny's, who we lost in August. Please order them for yourselves. But we already also spoke at the officers meeting about purchasing some for here at the Y with a card with her name, and at the library, that she's a big supporter of both and community in general. That's my first announcement. I have 3. This Saturday, did we announce yet about the leadership extravaganza? Who's going? Who's going? Show of hands. We've got a handful in the room. Fantastic. The leadership extravaganza for the fall hasn't been held since pre-COVID days in person. This is exciting at Roberts Wesleyan. We have carpooling going. My car is full. I know that Pam still has spaces. She's coming from Sanborn and driving her minivan. So she has still spaces, and maybe after the meeting we can talk about that. At that extravaganza all day at Roberts Wesleyan, you can come for part or all of the day. There is a keynote speaker who's an amazing world champ, so come for that. There is officer and leadership training in the morning. It's training round 2 of 2 for our officers. All are welcome. And the club awards. From our last term, we received distinguished status, so our club will be recognized, and our president, immediate past President Eric, and he'll be the sergeant at arms for the day. So he will be there with us, and I'm handling check-in. So please register in advance. There's not really registration at the door, but we could work it out if needed. It's just $15 for the whole day, and it includes lunch. That's crazy. So it's the best deal. And of course, we're rallying behind Maggie on Zoom, who's our contestant. She won at the club level. She won at the area level. She then won and placed at the division level and is going on to the district with her table topics performance. So please come, and that's in the afternoon. If you can make part, just let me know if you have questions about it. And then we are privileged to have Maggie as our Toastmaster. The following week, we return after Thanksgiving on December 4th. And we have 3 speakers scheduled. I should have brought my phone up. We have Darcy is speaking and Mary is speaking. And Les, are you still on? You're, of course, scheduled, like I said, and you can repeat and maybe give us feedback how it went today or something else, or you can back down, and Larry has already put himself in.
I will do.
Alternate. He will do it. So he's on deck and he's ready. And so sign up as another alternate somewhere else, I guess. Looks good. Mary might or might not, but she's been preparing too. So again, we're off next week for Thanksgiving. And in most years, Thursday of Thanksgiving is the only Thursday we have off. Well, this year, Christmas and New Year's are both on Thursdays. So we also have those dates off. Reminder, December 18th is our holiday party, which is a meeting and party we'll be doing. Tracy will be our Toastmaster of the day like she was last year. So be thinking about that. And I feel like I was going to say something else about that date, but maybe I'll remember by the next meeting. So we have, I think that's enough. Any questions about those things? Let me know. I thought, Dave, you might end your quiz with, where are we going for breakfast today? Is anyone interested in breakfast? We can talk about that. Dave,
I just want,
we'll see.
Yeah, I'll throw in that our topic for December 3rd, as Toastmaster, the topic will be National Cookie Day.
National Cookie Day. Oh, bring cookies, folks. Did I say that you were doing table topics? I hope I said tall tales for the contest. It is a tall tale, remind everybody. So Cookie Day.
I'll do the right speech.
Thank you. Cookie Day for December 4th. So be ready for that. And I'll welcome our treasurer back up. Now he's pointing at me. Okay. I'm excited. Now, we'll have our winners come up. We've got, for our best table topics today, welcome back, Jim. This isn't just like made up. You did really well today. You can come up. We have a ribbon for you. Can I ask, as you're wandering up, which chapter you were a member of, or which club? I'm sorry, we're not really chapters, we're clubs. You were a noon or evening PM Lockport PM Toastmasters. For anybody not knowing, there's AM, noon, and PM. So thank you so much. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you again. Have a great run for is it your 14th or your 15th? Oh my goodness. Have a wonderful run. We've got some other runners in the place. And so perfect. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you. I flubbed that a little. Sorry, guys. Great job, Jim. Oh, thank you. All voted me as the best evaluator. I think that Marshall did very well. Nancy did very well. This was a challenging kind of a lineup today. Our top speaker with her icebreaker, Bridget Newton. Come on up and draw our winner. And is this your first ribbon, or have you earned a ribbon before? Oh, I remember what I wanted to say earlier too. Congratulations, Bridget. And you're actually going to draw our split club for the day also. I remember what I was going to say on the holiday party. I think we're going to try to do our new member induction. So we have Sam and Bridget and Jim. If they can all be there on December 18th for the holiday party, we'll do our new member inductions then. All right. And you say the last three numbers. Who's our winner?
084.
084. It's Steve, who would rather win the split club than best speaker, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't know, on any given day. All right. Thank you all so much. And I guess that I'm going to